What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler, a true banger of a story. You guys seem to really enjoy the last acid story I uploaded, and I have plenty more of these in the vault, so I figured let's pull out one of the more classic ones. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and also don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. Ladies and gents, you can't go wrong, dude. My tweets are golden. Follow me on Twitter immediately, okay? I need more Twitter clout. This is not a drill. So the link's in the description. Go hit me on Twitter, dude. Show me some love. Without further ado, let's dive right into the story. Now, I don't know what I'm going to title this yet, but I know where to begin. This happened a very long time ago. This happened way back in my junior year of high school, which is when the vast majority of these acid stories occurred. And at the time, during early into the second semester of my junior year, it was when I had first met Ashton, and we weren't like super tight yet at this point. But I'd hung out with him, well, for long enough where like we tripped together and stuff, and we were becoming really good friends. I had another friend group who was from my previous school before I got transferred to an alternative school, who were also big into psychedelics. And Ashton and these guys just kind of didn't like get along, I guess. It's not like no one did anyone dirty. It wasn't like that. They just didn't really get along. They didn't work as like a collective. Like I couldn't bring him around to kick it with these guys. It just didn't work early on in the friendship, right? So I would typically hang out with these people separately. Like, I would go kick it with this group of friends, and then, once Ashton was done doing whatever, I'd go link up with him, right? So on this particular day, I ended up skipping school. I went to the alternative school, and I had a buddy named Michael who went to my old high school before I got kicked out. Michael is someone who has come up in probably a fair share of these past stories, but honestly, it's been so long that since I told a story with him involved, I don't know if this is the name I used for him, but I think it has been. And Michael's a guy who, huge psychedelic head, never showed up to school, always up to no good, but a very entertaining friend of mine. Me and this guy had, we were like friends where like sometimes we would like beef with each other and then we'd make up and be homies again. And it was always one of those back and forth things. Like sometimes we'd be like ready to square up with each other in the parking lot, and then other times we'd be like walking to the pizza place together to get food while we're fucked up, right? It was one of those kind of relationships, but we were always pretty good homies nevertheless, no matter what. We always at least had respect. So he hits me up. He's like, yo, dude, what you want? We should smoke or something. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'll slide over. He's like, you not going to school today? I'm like, absolutely not, baby. Because every now and then, I couldn't do it a lot, but every now and then, I would just skip school, right? If my mom was leaving early enough in the morning for work, sometimes she would leave before I had to leave for my bus. So there were some days where I just would not go get on the bus. So on this particular day, I was like, fuck it, dude. I don't really need to get on the bus. I'm gonna kick it. So Michael hits me up. He's like, hell yeah, dude, I'm skipping school too. You should slide over. So I'm like, all right, bet. So it was a pretty nice day out, for the time. It was pretty early in the year. It was like maybe the end of February, beginning of March. It was pretty early in the year, but I remember it being a very nice day out. So I walked over to Michael's house, which was only maybe a 3/4 of a mile walk. It wasn't the longest walk. And I walked to high school fairly often before I got sent to my alternative school. I would every now and then walk to school. So, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like before, if my car was out of commission at some point, I'd walk to school. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So I walk over to his house, and plus, I wasn't as fat as I am now. All right, let's be blunt. But either way, so I walk over to Michael's house, right? I dap up with him. He's just chilling in his room playing some games. It turns out there's a couple other of my friends who were at this function who also did not show up to school this day. Of course, we were the hooligans. Like, we were the kids skipping school, getting together, smoking pot. So I go over, and right off the bat, Michael's like, yo, dude, I got a surprise for you, right? We go into his room. I see my other buddy who we're going to call, what are we going to call him? I don't know. We're going to call him Phil. I see my other friend named Phil who's sitting in the room, right? So it's Phil and it's Michael. And, I dap Phil up. I'm like, what's good, bro? How you doing? Chat him up a little bit. And I notice right off the bat that these two guys are not just stoned. You can tell, right? I go in his room. He's got the incense going. The window's open. We're playing 2K on his Xbox 360. And mind you, this was also when PS4s had been out for like long enough where they were no longer like only the rich guys had them, you know? They'd been out for long enough where like it was starting to become unusual to still be playing the 360, right? Like definitely by this point. This was like 2017 or like 16. So I think it was 16. It might have been 16. God damn, I feel like a grandparent when I talk about how long ago this shit happened. Holy fuck, dude. Half a decade. Either way. So I go in there, incense on, just the classic acid tripping scenario. They've got 2K playing on the TV, playing some ASAP Rocky off their phone. Michael was big on Rocky and those kind of rappers. He liked more like authentic style rap, not as much like the mumble rappers and Lil Uzi kind of stuff. He liked more of the like old school. He listened to a lot of like Dr. Dre, stuff like that, right? And a lot of like psychedelic music too. So, they got that music going, and you could always tell by this guy's music when he was tripping. So as soon as I get in the room, I'm like, oh, we're going to have some fun today. So we sit down. Luckily, there were so many chairs in this guy's room. There wasn't even like a bed. The bed was a futon. It was just, everything was a chair in this guy's room. So it was sick. It was such a sick spot. So we're all sitting in his room. They got a blunt rolled up. We spark it up. We're chatting for a little bit. And Michael, after their game of 2K, is like, so, my man, Nicholas, I got a surprise for you. And we all had nicknames. I've talked about this group fairly often in the past. We all had nicknames. This might strike a bell with you guys. My nickname was, oh God, I don't remember what it was, but Michael's nickname was Ronald Jenkins. And then Phil's nickname was, oh God, I don't remember. We all like, we were tripping one day and we all gave ourselves like fake like trip names where like we would only address each other as these things when we were tripping. So like when we were tripping, I'd literally say to Michael, be like, yo, Ron Jenks, like, yo, Ronnie, dude. Like we just address each other, and I don't know why, dude. It was weird, but it was funny. So my name was Jimmy Specs, right? And we all had our own little trip names, right? So he's like, Ronald, or he's like, Jimmy, I got something for you. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh shit, dude. Here we go, dude. Let's fucking get it. Like, if he addresses me as Jimmy, I know it's going to be a fun day, right? He busts out this tab. He's like, I got a tab left. You can have it, my dude. I'm like, for real? I could just have it? He's like, yeah, bro. Of course. Go ahead. So I had that. I'm like, thank you, dude. And I brought some weed over to match, of course. So we were going to have a fun day. So he hands me this tab. He's like, dude, these are fire. He tells me he got them from the deep web. I know he used to dabble in that a fair bit. So I'm like, all right, for sure, dude. And this guy always usually had pretty good acid. I wouldn't say it was always as good as Ashton's, but I'd say it was on a fairly equal playing field. It was always some really good stuff, So I pop this tab, and I'm sitting there, and now it's my turn to play 2K. And we're just passing the 360 controllers around. We're playing 2K, and we're chilling out, having a good time. And I remember after like a couple matches at 2K, we were very competitive with this, by the way. There was only 2 games he played. It was 2K and Call of Duty World at War on this guy's Xbox, right? And sometimes he'd do it in his living room when his mom wasn't home. Other times it would be in his bedroom. But nevertheless, we were always on the 360. Like, literally, up until, like, I'm pretty sure up until I, like, dropped out of high school, we were grinding on this guy's 360. And even after that, I'm pretty sure there were still points where I was playing on this guy's 360. Like, for real, dude, man. Listen, we were just some grinders back then on the 360, okay? So after about an hour, this tab hits me, and this was at a point where I was a really experienced psych user. I mean, I still am, of course. You never lose the experience, but I was like peak psych usage. So, I wasn't having like a super intense trip. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, dude, I was drooling on myself. Dude, the TV looked like it had legs. Like, bro, I wasn't at that level. I was having some really nice color enhancement. I was seeing those little purple swirlies. The tracers. I always forget what they're called. Tracers around my vision, and I just generally felt uplifted. I felt very light. Weight wise, I felt like if I lifted my arm, it would almost stay up unless I pulled it back down. Like, it was a very weird, good feeling. And this is definitely some of the better acid I remember having. I remember just having a really nice kind of, almost like a buzz, almost like a little euphoria. Kind of just around me the entire trip. It was a really good vibe, beautiful day out, window open, fresh air, just coming into the spring. It was one of the best, like, trip days ever. Like, I don't think I could have picked a better day to trip and skip school with the homies. So we're chilling, we're playing 2K, and finally Michael's like, dude, I'm starving. And I wasn't really that hungry, right? I was a guy who, like, I could eat when I was tripping. At first, I kind of couldn't, but after a while, like, you get used to it. You don't necessarily get hungry when you're tripping, but like you'll get to the point where you're not opposed to eating, if that makes sense. You know, like food. I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, I can't even eat on acid. Food's gross." I'm not like that. I can eat, but I'm not gonna like clear the plate, right? So Phil's like, yeah, I'm down to grab some food or something. And us being some broke-ass high schoolers, we didn't have money for food, bro. All our money goes to drugs. So we hop out of his house and we go stand on his driveway and we're smoking a cigarette. And we're all trying to figure out as we smoke these darts. We're like, hey, where are we going? I just called them darts, by the way. Your guys' influence is rubbing off. I see you guys call them darts in the comments all the time. I call them squares is my side of town slang, but I see darts a lot, so I had to throw a little homage. But nevertheless, so we're smoking these squares, and we're trying to figure out where to go to get food, because there's this pizza place that we usually go to that's down the street, and it's pretty smack. There's also a Five Guys that was pretty close, which is also smack, but we're broke. Five Guys is like over $10 a person, dude, and we're broke. So there's no way, dude. That $10, dude, that's acid. That's weed. Are you kidding me? If you all throw that together, that's an eighth, bro. Are you joking? We need that eighth. We're tripping. So we walk our asses over to the grocery store. And for those of you guys who are real channel OGs, you might remember one of the things I did back in freshman year of high school is I used to go into the grocery store after school with my friends, and I go in there and we'd take the like hot, they had this little stand with like hot pre-cooked chicken and like chicken wings, and it was really good chicken. Like, it was fire. It was not like Walmart brand shit. It was so fucking good, like very delicious. And we used to go in there and take these big buckets and fill them up with chicken and just walk out. And Michael had been there for a few of those, same with Phil. So we're walking past the grocery store, and I just blurted out, I'm just like, dude, I could just grab us some chicken. And they're like, you're down? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, dude, I'll go grab some chicken, dude. Fuck it. Let's go hit a lick. So I'm like, okay, I haven't done this in a little while. Recently, my stealing efforts had kind of verted more to alcohol theft, and I never really stole from the grocery stores like that as much, or at least this one, right? Because this one never had a very big alcohol section, right? There's better places to do it, so I never stole from this one very much. On occasion, I did, but not a ton. But I go in there on this particular day, and they're waiting outside, right? I remember Michael went in with me. Phil was like, fuck that, bro. I'm pretty sure I'm banned from there. So Michael goes in with me, and we go over to the chicken thing. And the thing is, they changed the formula on how they, like, I credit myself for this, right? But basically, they used to have, like, the chicken stand completely unsupervised, right? Where you could just walk up, get a bucket, walk out. Then I remember there was a period where they literally had an employee standing at it. Like, they put like a security guard there for the chicken. Then they just moved it behind the like bakery counter. You know, like they just moved it behind the like pre-cooked hot foods, like have to get it served to you by an employee counter. So I go over to that counter with Michael, and we're looking at all the different chicken options, and we figure maybe they won't make us pay for it here. Maybe we could buy it up front, right? So we go over, we pick out a chicken, and of course, that's exactly the case. They let us just grab it here and pay for it up front. They tried to check me out, and I was like, oh, actually, I'm still shopping. Could I pay for it up front? We had no fucking cart, dude. Like, very obviously, these two tweaked out high school kids who are skipping school because it is like noon on like a school day, right? Very obviously, these kids are not doing more shopping. But they were just like, yeah, hey, go ahead, baby. So they hand me this bucket. And I just go to the other door by the pharmacy, which is a little less busy, a little less popular with less employees. And I just walk right out with Michael. So I walk right out, and we're geeked as fuck. I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world. It's a beautiful day. I'm tripping balls. We're all tripping balls. So we start walking back, right? We're eating this chicken. It's delicious, dude. It feels like Christmas. I'm passing out chicken legs, wings, all different pieces to everybody, dude. I'm passing out pieces of chicken to me, Phil, and Michael, and we're devouring this box. Now, remember, we're so hyped to get back. We're fiending to play more games. And we're down the street, and we decide to do a little race. We're like, yo, dude, last one to make it back has to sit out the next 2K game, right? So we're booking it. And these dickheads leave me with the bucket of chicken. So I'm running up the driveway, bucket of chicken in both arms, tripping balls, dude. Eyes, bowling balls. If anyone in the neighborhood saw me, they would have called the cops immediately. It would have been like, these kids are tweaking. I eat shit. I fall over, chicken all over the pavement. Michael doesn't give a fuck. Michael comes over, picks up a piece. He's like, dude, the top side is still probably good. Just fucking eats the side that didn't touch the ground on like 2 of the pieces. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm a little more of a germaphobe, so you could do that shit. But we go back inside, and we go upstairs, and we hop back on 2K. And we start smoking some more weed. We're rolling up some more blunts as soon as we get back. And like, no one even processed it. Like, Phil didn't realize the chicken was gone. Michael did. Michael came back and ate like 2 pieces off the ground and then helped me throw the rest away. Phil didn't even realize the chicken was gone, right? So we come back upstairs and Phil's like, where's the grub? I'm like, dude, I ate shit, bro. There's no chicken. He's like, are you kidding me? Michael's like, yeah, bro, I finished it. So he's a little pissed, but I'm like, dude, you got the rights to 2K, so stop being a bitch about it and just make me sit out, I guess, you fucking prick. So while they were playing, I rolled up some blunts. We're smoking some dope. And finally, the day just kind of flies by with us sitting on 2K. And Michael's mom gets home while we're sitting in his room smoking blunts. Now, Michael's mom is opposed to smoking, but she would never, like, punish us or freak out in front of Michael. Unless we were, like, really tweaking. Like, there was only a few instances where I really saw his mom get mad. But most of the time, his mom would just kind of avoid us, right? So, his mom gets home, and we're like, oh, shit. You know, we're cleaning off the counter. We're like putting the weed back in our bags. We're like trying to hide all the paraphernalia as if the whole house probably doesn't stink anyways. And his mom knocks on the door, comes in the room. She's like, hey, Michael, hey guys, we're all, me and Phil were just like, hey, how you doing? Just trying to act very cool. Cause at this point we're not tripping as hard. Like we'd passed our peak. Honestly, I probably peaked while the chicken event unfolded, but I passed my peak. And then his mom comes in, she's like, hey, guys. And we're like, hey, we got to act cool, So we're like, oh, hello, how was your day? How was work? All that kind of stuff, being very nice. And then we top it off by doing one of the hood classics. We play a game of Risk, right? We go sit down in the dining room in Michael's house, and we play some Risk, right? This is one of our favorite things. We used to play Risk fairly often as a friend group because it's a fun-ass board game, dude. And sometimes you could bet on it if we had some extra singles. But Risk is a game that is heavily slept on. If you don't got a group of homies you can play board games with, you're tweaking, dude. I remember me and a more recent group of friends who used to play Monopoly when we were doing a bunch of cocaine. Before that, it was Risk. But you always got to have a group of homies to play board games with. So I guess that's kind of the lesson of today's video, I guess you could say. But either way, we're going to cut it off there. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop a like if you did. Be ready for potentially tonight's late night stream. It depends on how late I'm going to be doing it, but we already streamed earlier in the day, so no problem, baby. And be ready for the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Peace.